World Children's Day and World Elders Day is celebrated today. But today, we would like to draw a special focus on World Children's Day as they are the future of our nation. We open the doors to our newsroom to many children from across the island today. They will even be joining us live during the news bulletin. But before we get into all of that, let's take a look at your top stories for today. Kuda River at a major flood level in Millakanda. Several districts experience heavy rains. Landslide warnings issued in 8 districts. World Children's Day celebrated today. President says we'll strive to create a beautiful childhood for the children of the nation. Gathering of views of the general public regarding the electricity tariff hike begins. Government will not take any steps to restrict social media. A statement from Minister Manusha Nanayakara.
සමාජ මාධ්‍යයේ පළ කරන දේවල් වලට වගකීම ගන්න කියන එක විතරයි මේ පනත හරහා කරන්නේ.
Defence Ministry launches investigation into the shooting of the Tusker Sita in Maharagama. Taking a look at your weather update for this evening. Heavy showers across the island has affected 5,051 people from 1,275 families. The Disaster Management Centre said that 316 houses have been damaged by the inclement weather. The Met Department forecasts showers exceeding 50 millimeters in the western and Sabaragama provinces and the Gaul, Mathura and Putlam districts. Landslide warnings have been issued to 8 districts.
Reports of floods and damage to lives and property due to heavy showers have come in from the Kaluthara and Gampaha districts in the western province, Begol and Mathura districts in the southern province, and Kandy in the central province. The highest flood levels were reported from Kaluthara. The water level of the Kuda River, which is a branch of the Kalu River, was at a major flood level in Millakanda for the second day today. The water level at the water gauge in Millakanda is considered to be at a major flood level when it exceeds 8 meters. The water level was at 8.72 meters at 12 noon today. The water level of the Kalu River is at a minor flood level in Putupaula. The Nilvala River is at a minor flood level in Panudugama and Talgahagoda. The Attanagalu Oya is at minor flood level in Dunamale. Many roads in the Kaluthara district were inundated today. The sluice gates of the Kukuleganga reservoir have been opened and water is being released into the Kuda River. Many houses in low-lying areas and roads in Molkava, Paragoda, Dambala, Diyakadua and Galyakala falling under the purview of the Bulletin Divisional Secretariat were flooded after the Kuda River overflowed. Meanwhile, areas including Ballapitiya, Veheravatta and Ratiala in the Bulletin Divisional Secretariat and Yala, Remuna and Valpita in the Maduravala Divisional Secretariat were flooded due to the rise in water levels of the Kalu River. This is the situation in the central province. 2 sluice gates of the Polgolla Mahavali Dam have been opened. Water is being released at 3,000 cubic feet per second into the Victoria Reservoir. Residents of low-lying areas in the region have been advised to exercise caution. This is the situation in the Gaul district in the southern province. By this morning, the water level at the Badegama water gauge was nearing major flood levels. The major flood level at the Badegama water gauge is measured when the water level reaches 5 meters. The water level is currently at 4.73 meters. The Badegama Agalaya Road, Badegama Nagoda Road and Badegama Dodamgoda Road are inundated. The premises of the primary section of the Christchurch Boys' School in Badegama has been inundated for the past 3 days. This is how many low-lying areas and byroads along either side of the banks of the Gin River in areas falling under the purview of the Valiveria Divithuru Divisional Secretariat were inundated. The floodwaters along the Mapalagama Pitigala main road are receding. According to our correspondent, floodwaters along the roads and low-lying areas in Nagoda, Kurupana Ara, Gammadegoda and Mulana are receding. This is the situation in the Mathura district. Many low-lying areas and roads have been inundated after the Nilvala River overflowed. Areas including Malimbada, Talagahagoda, Katduwa, Narangala and Velletota continue to be inundated. Flow of traffic in these areas have been affected. According to our correspondent, Uninduwela, Katuwangoda Road and many low-lying areas have also been flooded. This is the situation in the Hambantota district. The Tangol, Rakava, Netolpitia road and houses in the vicinity are flooded. Flood waters in many areas in the Gampaha district are now receding. The water level of the Attanagalu Oya is dropping. Although low-lying areas in Tiharia, Kalatueva and Tiharia Pahalagama in Gampaha were flooded yesterday, the water levels there are receding. Floodwaters along the Gampaha Jayala road is at 2 feet in Akkaravita, while floodwaters along the Gampaha Kandana road is also at 2 feet in Kirindivita. During floods, various holes along the roads, drains and ditches cannot be seen. There is a risk of people facing fatal accidents due to this. Therefore, the general public must be more cautious. Also, the general public should be cautious about crocodiles along the banks of the Gin River and Nilvala River, and also streams and canals in the Colombo district. When we issue a red warning for landslides, you must evacuate to save your life. When you head towards safe shelters, you must carry all of your important documentation safely. If power lines have collapsed along the road, you must not try to touch them.
In more local news, Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Manushana Naikara says that the government will not in any way censor social media.
සමාජ මාධ්‍යයට වාරණ දාන්නෙත් නෑ සමාජ මාධ්‍යයට
Social media will not be censored. Regulations will not be imposed on social media either. This act will only make people take responsibility for the things that they post on social media. If you are always using social media, your identity is required. Also, if you are making a statement, you must be responsible for it. That is all. People will not lose their rights to expressing their opinions in any way. We are only talking about having a responsible social media.
සමාජ මාධ්‍යයක් තිබීම ගැන විතරයි මේ කතා කරන්නේ.
General Secretary of the United National Party Palitharange Bandara said there is a need for social media regulation.
Freedom of speech and expression have been given to the people in this constitution itself, which is the basic law, but the constitution has made a restriction to use it in a way that does not bother others. Social media should be free, but it should be regulated. If a person is given a gun, ammunition and a license, that doesn't mean that he can go and start shooting people. Just like that, social media should also have certain regulations. The Samagi Vanitha Balaweke expressed these views regarding the newly proposed acts.
The bills that are to be passed are two very dangerous bills. These two bills will restrict the freedom of expression and thought of the people. The people of this country are facing many economic hardships. If the president was a people-friendly leader, he would first alleviate the people's burden by introducing a cooperative bill that will enable people to purchase goods at a concessionary rate. Instead of doing this, in this act that they are to bring to regulate social media, if a person shares a post on social media, whether or not it is legal will be decided by a 5-member committee appointed by the President. When these 5 members are appointed by the President, they will be responsible to the President. They will decide if a post is defamatory or not. Therefore, I believe that this bill is unfair. At least this must be presented to the Constitutional Council. As a Samagi Jana Balavegya and on behalf of the citizens of the country, we condemn these bills that are arbitrarily brought by the President.
The resignation of Mullaitivu District Judge and Magistrate T. Saravanaraja has garnered the attention of the entire country. Yesterday, issuing a statement, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka said that an impartial investigation should be conducted regarding the resignation. Many factions expressed concern regarding the crisis faced by the judicial sector of the country today. The Tamil National Youth Association engaged in a protest at the Kilinochchi public market today. They pointed out that the resignation of Mullaitivu District Judge and Magistrate T. Saravanaraja has had a massive impact on the legal sector of Sri Lanka. The association collected signatures from the general public this evening calling for the independence of the judiciary to be protected.
A magistrate in Sri Lanka has left the country because of death threats to his life. This is evidence showing that the country is in serious crisis.
TNA MP President's Counsel M.A. Sumandiran spoke about the resignation of Mullaitivu District Judge and Magistrate T. Saravanaraja.
இலங்கையின் நீதித்துறை மோசமாக பாதிக்கப்படுகிறது.
The judiciary is facing serious interference. There is an issue regarding the independence of the judiciary. This is not a new thing in the history of Sri Lanka. There are judges who left the country due to undue influences, but this is the first time that a judge has made public the incidents that he had to face. This has become an incident in the legal sector of the country that is being spoken of across the world. They cannot say that the magistrate was not influenced. This is a dangerous situation for the legal sector of the country. We need to speak out against this. Therefore, we are ready to take action against this in a manner that countries across the world will pay their attention.
நாங்கள் பல நடவடிக்கைகளை தொடர்ந்து எடுக்க இருக்கிறோம்.
The main pillar that upholds the concept of the rule of law is the judiciary. If a magistrate says that he was influenced because of his decisions, where is this country headed? What does the international community think? If a magistrate says, I am resigning because of pressure, these are problems that should be focused on. The governments are there to protect these towers. They should focus on protecting the rights of the people. We have seen the extent of influence on the Supreme Court when the debt restructuring program was initiated before the resignation of the district judge through the actions of the speaker. At the same time, we saw it at the second stage, the statement made by Minister Sarath Weerasekara behind the cover of parliamentary privilege. We see the third step or the next step in destroying the rule of law as the resignation of the district judge. He has started receiving threats from the ground level. They are destroying the rule of law in this country. This is destroying the last hope of the people to fight for justice. Today this government knows that it does not have a public mandate, and it knows that it cannot get a mandate from the people inside the democratic framework of the country.
තමන්ට ජනමතයක් නැහැ කියලා දන්න නිසා සහ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී ව්‍යුහය තුල තමන්ට ජනමතයක් ලබා ගන්න නොහැකි බව දන්න නිසා
Senior Vice President of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Professor Rohana Lakshman Piyadasa, says that the balance between the country's judiciary and legislature is collapsing.
At present, the country's judiciary is in a serious questionable place where they are resigning, saying that they are not safe, by summoning the judges to parliament and bringing them before select committees, saying that parliamentary supremacy is more important than judicial decisions, and by president making statements that parliamentary supremacy is more important than judicial decisions. The balance between the legislature, the executive and judiciary in this democratic framework has been affected.
ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජ ව්‍යුහය යම් ආකාරයකට බරපතල ප්‍රශ්නයක් බවට පත් වී තිබෙනවා.
The Jatika Janabalawege says the government is introducing bills to silence the opposition of the general public against the rising cost of living and taxes. The Ranil Rajapaksa government that dances to the tunes of the IMF are proposing to increase the electricity tariffs again. The electricity bills were increased by 250% in August 2022. It will be increased again from October 1st by 22%. They said that they will have friends in the international community. They said that they will get help from them. In the end, they have burdened the people by imposing more taxes. The real problem has not been solved yet. When the government failed to resolve the problems of the people, it resorts to completely suppressing the democratic rights of the general public. They silence those who express opposition on social media by introducing acts. By introducing the anti-terrorism bill, they are trying to silence those who get onto the street and voice their opposition. The government is carrying out suppression through these bills. On the other side, they are trying to influence the independence of the judiciary. The Mullaitivu district judge and magistrate had resigned. This is a serious incident in recent history of Sri Lanka. This is not a mere threat made to one person. This is a threat made to the entire judicial system. We see this as a blow to the independence of the judiciary. They must withdraw the online safety bill and the anti-terrorism bill. Veterinarians say that it is still not possible to determine whether the condition of the female tusker Sita is critical or not, after she was shot. State Minister of Defence Pramitha Bandara Tennakon has ordered for a formal internal investigation to be conducted into the shooting of the female tusker Maharagama Sita.
In a statement, the Ministry of Defence said that if there has been any lapse in the performance of duties by the civil security officer connected to the shooting, action will be taken. The Civil Defence Department has also initiated an internal disciplinary inquiry into the incident. The female tusker Sita was shot on Saturday morning while it was tied up after visiting the final Randoli Perahera at the Mahiyangane Raja Mahaviharaya. The shooting took place when the Mahut had gone out to eat. Veterinarians said that the elephant was treated since early Saturday morning and 7 wounds were found on its body. Currently 4 poles have been placed around the tusker to prevent it from collapsing. Professor Ashoka Dangola of the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine of the University of Peradeniya commented on the tusker's current condition.
All the gunshots were in the same place, in the upper left side of the chest where the heart is located. Now this is not a good situation. Symptoms are likely to show after 2 or 3 days if the heart is not directly hit. We have placed several poles to prevent the tusker from collapsing while we treat it. The tusker is eating. It has a discomfort when walking. We have no way of getting an X-ray to see how much damage has been caused. The skin has been penetrated in all 7 wounds. We still can't confirm it if these are life-threatening injuries. We are scared if it will show some bad symptoms.
The 48-year-old tusker Sita featured in 3 popular films as well as a film that is currently being recorded. She has been known to take part in many Peraharas at famous temples in the island and has attracted the attention of local and foreign tourists as well. This was the account of a young man who witnessed the shooting.
I was waiting in the lorry and then they came running with guns and shot it. There was a big crowd. They were shouting that you should not shoot the elephant that took part in the Perahara. Then I too got out of my lorry and started shouting to stop the shooting. But by then the damage was done. Isn't this animal cruelty? This elephant was shot right near its heart. If it had been a little lower, it would have been a tragedy. Why would someone do something like this? Why would they do it in a crowded place while people shouted at them to stop? As I mentioned earlier, today is World Children's Day. We told you that on this very special day, we at News First opened our doors to children from across the country. These children who visited our newsroom will also bring you the news on the celebrations today in line with World Children's Day. To bring you the first story on the World Children's Day celebrations, we've got with us Hirundi Vikramasinghe.
The celebrations for World Children's Day, organized by Sirasa TV, was held in Kurunegala today.
Children from across Sri Lanka came to the Sir John Kotalavala Vidyalaya to celebrate World Children's Day with Sirasa TV. The program began under the auspices of the Additional District Secretary of Kurunegala, MAAS Priyankara, and CEO of MTV Channel Private Limited, Attorney Susara Dinal, and the staff of Sirasa TV. Art and sports competitions and many other fun-filled events were organized to put a smile on the faces of the children who came here today. Performances by preschool and school students added color to the celebrations. Children were given an opportunity to audition for the Neela Pabalu teledrama aired on Sirasa TV. Children who came for the event from across the country were also given an opportunity to experience the beauty of the Kurunegala town. The Ministry of Education, Department of Probation and Childcare Services, the Kurunegala District Secretariat, the Kurunegala Municipal Council and the police joined hands with Sirasa TV to organize this amazing event for our children.
The World Children's Day celebrations organized by the Ministry of Children's and Women's Affairs was held at the Temple Trees today.
The event to celebrate World Children's Day was held under the auspices of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Various programs for children, including felicitations and awarding of certificates, were part of this event. A first day cover was also issued at the event.
අපිට තීරණ ගන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙද්දි අපි තීරණ ගන්නේ නැහැ.
We don't take decisions when we have the power to take decisions. We should rise up from the situation that we have fallen to for the 4 million children in this country. The future of these children cannot be stopped short. There are many children who do not attend school. Thousands of children are leaving schools. We only speak of the number of children who pass or fail their exams.
අන්තිමට කතා කරන්නේ විභාග වලින් සමර්ථ හා අසමර්ථ වෙන සංඛ්‍යාවන් ගැන පමණයි.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe issued a message in line with World Children's Day and World Elders Day.
The President points out that they are on the path of building a prosperous country for all the children to inherit a beautiful childhood in the challenging era that the country is facing at the moment. In the President's message, he says that many educational reforms are to be made to equip the children with new technological knowledge and skills and socialize them as citizens with a balanced personality in order to create a developed Sri Lanka by 2048.
Several programs were organized in the line with World Children's Day across many parts of the island today.
The Kandy Municipal Council and the local government bodies collective had organized a special celebration in line with World Children's Day today. The event was held under the theme Kakulusihina Patakaramu. The event was held at the E.L. Senanayaka Children's Park in Kandy. The event was sponsored by Eslon Lanka Private Limited. Several programs were held at the Dehiwala Zoo in line with World Children's Day. A free medical clinic for children was held at the Malabe Neville Fernando Hospital. A Children's Day celebration organized by the Batiklo Kalladi 243rd Army Camp was also held today. The much anticipated 2023 Boys Finals of the Inter-School Shakespeare Drama Competition or Shakes was held at the Bishop's College Auditorium yesterday. The 2023 Boys Finals of the Inter-School Shakespeare Drama Competition, more commonly known as Shakes, kicked off yesterday at the Bishop's College Auditorium. This year's 4 finalists were Ananda College, St. Joseph's College, St. Thomas Catholic International College and D.S. Senanayaka College. These 4 plays will be judged based on several criteria, including lighting, costumes and delivery. For many thespians in Sri Lanka, this long-standing competition has been a strong foundation to kickstart their theatre careers. The finals of Shakes 2023 started off with an entertaining extract of William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream by D.S. Senanayaka College.
Oh, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine.
St. Joseph's College performed an extract of Coriolanus, a story about the Roman leader Cassius Marcus Coriolanus. The third performance was from St. Thomas Catholic International College. They performed an extract from William Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight. One cried, God bless us, and the other, Amen, as they had seen with his hangman's hands.
Ananda College performed a scene from Macbeth in the last slot. St. Thomas Catholic International College and St. Joseph's College won third and second runners-up respectively, while D.S. Senanayaka College was the runner-up of the competition. Ananda College was adjudged the winners of the 48th Boys Inter-School Shakespeare Drama Competition. St. Thomas Catholic International College and D.S. Senanayaka College jointly won the award for Best Stagecraft of the competition. Nuhan Gunasekara from D.S. Senanayaka College won the Best Supporting Actor award. Mayon Fernando from St. Thomas Catholic International College and Haritha Gamage from Ananda College jointly won the award for Best Actor in Shakes 2023. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said, "It is the responsibility of all to ensure that children are provided with all the facilities that they need."
The 80th bus under the Sakwala program in line with World Children's Day was donated to the Subharati Mahatmaya Vidyalaya in Homagama today. This program was held under the auspices of opposition leader Sajid Premadasa. A group including the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Gopal Bagle attended the event.
Years ago, when I was a small child, and we were going to take part in a competition, me and my friends from the school. Like last night, there was a lot of rain. The van in which we were going, it broke down. And all of us, the children, were sitting like this with glum faces, and we thought now we can't even go and participate in the competition. Fortunately, the school bus came that way. He picked us, dropped at the competition, and no marks for guessing that we won that competition. That was a memorable journey, not because we won the competition, but because the school bus came to our rescue, and without the bus, we will not have been able to take part in the competition at all. So when the principal was mentioning today morning the talent which exists in this school, I thought to myself that this bus is a boon, it's a tremendous gift to the children, to their future, it's an investment in their future.
In 1959, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Declaration on the Rights of Children. This declaration speaks about the rights of children. As a country, we signed many declarations, but how far have we as a country been able to ensure the requirements of these declarations are implemented? Today we have become a country that betrays the pride of our country. We have a backbone. It is the children that will build this country. We must provide them with lunch. We must give them strength. We must give them smart devices for education. We must provide them with all the facilities that they need for their education.
In more local news, leopards roaming in the lower part of Hantana at night has driven fear into the hearts of residents in the area.
Leopards from the Hantana forest come to the lower areas of Hantana in search of food. Residents of villages in the area are extremely vigilant when they travel at night along these roads. More than 150 families living in the area have been affected by this situation.
An animal ran. A calf was killed. When I picked up the calf that was lying on the road, its neck was broken. The leopard killed too. When I was passing, I saw it sitting and then standing all of a sudden. I ignored it and went back to the village and told everyone. It was about 3.5 feet long and about 4 feet tall.
It was against such a backdrop that the Kandy Police and the Wildlife Department jointly conducted a program to educate people on how to protect themselves from leopards. The officials pointed out that these leopards come to these areas in search of food.
Hantana is overpopulated. This means that space available to these animals has decreased. Animals such as deer and wild boars and other animals that leopards hunt in the forest are being hunted by the people. This is what has resulted in these animals going to the populated areas in Hantana and hunting cattle and dogs for food. These animals have been in the reserves for years and they have enough space in the reserves. We need to provide them with the basic basics they need to survive, such as the space they live in and the food that they eat to keep them alive, and that is what the Department of Wildlife Conservation is trying to do.
ආහාර අවශ්‍ය කරන අපසාරිය පරිසරය සංරක්ෂණය කරලා උගේ පැවැත්ම ඉදිරියට තබා ගන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන කටයුතු වනජීවි සංරක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවෙන් අපි.
Leopards are an important part of the biodiversity in Sri Lanka. The lives of both humans and leopards must be protected. It is the duty of officials to present a viable solution to this issue that will ensure the protection of both people living in these areas as well as the leopards in the reserve. In more news, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has begun accepting views from the general public regarding the proposed electricity tariff hike. The PUCSL says that written comments and suggestions are now being accepted and they can be submitted to the Commission in writing. Those who want to present their views verbally can do so on October 18th and should call 071 8622 800 to register. In international news, the Maldives, a strategically located country in the Indian Ocean, has elected a pro-China president, Mohammad Muizzu. This is a major setback for India, which has traditionally been the Maldives' closest partner.
Mohammad Muizzu, who ran on a platform of closer ties with China, defeated the incumbent President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih, who had strengthened relations with India. President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih accepted defeat in the runoff poll, congratulating his rival Mohammad Muizzu, who won 54% of the vote. Reports suggest that Solih's defeat is seen as a sign of China's growing influence in the region and a setback for India's India First policy. The Maldives is located in a key maritime choke point, and both India and China are vying for influence in the country. The election of a pro-China president in the Maldives is likely to lead to a further shift in the country's foreign policy. The election of a pro-China president in the Maldives is a significant development that will have implications for the security of both India and China in the Indian Ocean.
Taking a look at some devastating news from Turkey. Turkey's Interior Ministry has called an explosion outside the ministry building in the capital Ankara a terrorist attack.
Turkey's Interior Minister said 2 attackers arrived in a commercial vehicle and carried out the attack, injuring 2 officers. He said an attacker blew himself up in front of a ministry building and another was neutralized. Emergency services rushed to the scene, with police blocking several surrounding roads as well. The explosion happened just hours before Parliament was due to reconvene. According to reports, it is not clear who the attackers were. No one has claimed the attack.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Primetime News here on TV1. For the News First team, I've been Sanitha Senanayake. Take care and stay safe.